So welcome everyone to this presentation. My name is Chris Corrigan. I'm the subject lead for music in the School of Arts, English and Languages, and I'd like to say a few words about one of our music programmes at Queen's, which is the BA in Music and Sound Design. So I'd like to start with a few brief words about Queen's as an institution in general. Queen's is a member of the Russell Group of universities. These are 24 of the research-intensive universities across the UK. Queen's is also ranked within the top 250 universities worldwide as of the most recent QS World Rankings. In terms of graduate prospects, Queen's is in the top 40 across the world for graduate prospects, again from one of the recent QS graduate employment rankings. And we also have the lowest student rent across the UK, according to NatWest's recent Student Living Index. Over the last number of years, there's been quite a significant investment within the campus infrastructure at Queen's. We've invested about £700 million over the past 10 years, and this has gone into public facilities for all students, including the Maclay Library, including investments in the Physical Education Centre, and new bespoke buildings for computer science. So within our own school, the School of Arts, English and Languages, we offer 5 programmes in music. A Bachelor of Music, a BA in Music Performance, a BA in Music and Sound Design, a BA in Music and Audio Production, and a BSc in Audio Engineering, which is co-taught with our colleagues in the School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. So there's a number of unique aspects of the infrastructure of our school that I'd like to show you to begin with. We are based across 2 buildings, the Sonic Arts Research Centre and the Music Building. And within each of these buildings, the centrepiece or the heart of each of those buildings is a performance space. Within the Sonic Arts Research Centre, we have a fabulous performance space, which we call the Sonic Laboratory. And this is a unique performance facility across the world. It's a space specifically for the performance of electronic forms of music. And it includes 48 loudspeakers distributed in different parts of the space, both in front of the audience, behind the audience, above and below the audience, and to the sides of the audience. The purpose of these loudspeakers is to provide a completely immersive listening experience, rather like the developments in cinema in the area of Dolby Atmos, but specifically for music purposes. And then 5 minutes away in the Music Building, just on University Square, we have our music centre, and within the Music Building we have a beautiful acoustic concert hall, the Hearty Room, and all of the acoustic music performances on a concert basis, but also our performance modules are delivered within the Hearty Room. We have a number of quite close relationships with industry partners in the province. Of particular note is our partnership with the Ulster Orchestra. This is a strategic partnership that's been developed over the last number of years, and it enables us to bring in tutors from the orchestra to feed into the performance platform classes that happen on a weekly basis. But we also have close links with a range of other partners, the Lyric Theatre, Moving On Music, one of our fabulous local music promoters, and BBC Northern Ireland, who were integrally involved in the design of our BSc in Audio Engineering. As well as those partnerships with local institutions, we have a number of specific industry professionals who come in to teach on our programmes. One of our industry professionals is Peter Wilson, or Duke Special, as he performs. And Peter is directly involved in the delivery of modules that we offer in songwriting and modules that we offer in contemporary or popular music performance. So in addition to Peter, the Hard Rain Soloist Ensemble work with us as industry professionals, serving effectively as an ensemble in residence. And the Hard Rain Soloist Ensemble feed into a number of activities across our programmes, including workshopping compositions from our composition students, working with our performance students, and also working with our students making audio recordings in commercial studio contexts. So the School of Arts, English and Languages is also an Avid Learning partner. We're one of the academic partners with Avid, and Avid are one of the major software companies in the creative industries. Avid release software called Pro Tools for audio editing and recording, and Media Composer for video editing and recording. And these two software applications, Pro Tools and Media Composer, would arguably be regarded as the industry standard platforms for this kind of work in audio recording and editing and video editing. As well as that, Avid are the parent company for the Sibelius music notation software, which I'm sure many of you have used for music notation purposes. One final unique aspect of our department is that we offer generous performance bursaries to any students who wish to study performance or to take a module in performance who have passed a performance audition. So if students are accepted following their audition onto our performance modules, the bursaries cover the costs of all of the practical performance tuition across the year of the delivery of that performance module. And over the course of 3 years, if students carry on performance across the 3 years of their degree programme, the cost of those performance tuition lessons can mount up considerably. So these bursaries can be worth up to in the region of £2,500 over the course of 3 years. So the BA in Music and Sound Design is one of our new BA programmes that will be of particular interest to students who wish to focus on the use of music and the use of sound for a range of different media, including film, including television, including computer games, including theatre, and so on. There's, broadly speaking, 2 core areas of activity within the BA in Music and Sound Design programme. The first is a focus on developing compositional experience, compositional expertise. And we look at composition across a range of different, using a range of different approaches. Firstly, we would look at the use of the sound studio to enable and to facilitate the composition of music. There are also modules that allow students to explore more traditional approaches for composing for instrumental forces. And then we'd look specifically at more commercial forms of composition, writing music for picture, for screen, for theatre, and so on, and the commercial process of songwriting, which is becoming an increasingly important aspect of filmmaking. Often quite a large proportion of Hollywood feature films will feature song placement at critical junctures in the narrative. So it's becoming quite an important part of the storytelling for feature film editing. And then alongside the musical composition, we would also focus on the development of skills for designing sound, for the recording, firstly, of sound that might accompany different media, for the synthesis of sound, the creating of sound from scratch, using electronic means, and also the signal processing of both recorded and synthesized sound, so that you can take a sound recording or a piece of sound synthesis, and you can start to manipulate that recording to fit the need of the narrative. And this is essentially what's understood by the term sound design. Sound design is the process of working with sound, working with dialogue, working with atmosphere, working with specific spot effects, and creating this believable experience to accompany a piece of cinema, a piece of television, to accompany a stage production, a radio play, a piece of animation, or a game, a computer game. In addition to these sound design skills, we also encourage students to focus on the interactive aspects of installations and the design of new instruments or new interfaces for controlling sound. So this is a visual representation of the current structure of the BA in Music and Sound Design programme. Over on the left-hand side are a number of boxes that are coloured white, and these represent the compulsory modules that students take in each of the 3 years of the programme. So the expectation for any programme at Queen's is that students will complete an equivalent of 6 modules in any 1 year of the degree. As you can see there, a large number of the modules at level 1 of the programme are compulsory. So there are the equivalent of 5 compulsory modules: a module in sound recording and production, a module in sound synthesis and audio mixing, a module in the introduction to composition, and then a follow-on module, which is actually an either-or. Students can take module Composition 1A or Composition 1B, depending on the particular area of compositional practice that they want to specialise in. And then the 5th compulsory module is a module called Introduction to Music, which is a written-based module that focuses on the sociological function of music through the ages. At stage 2, there are 3 compulsory modules. A module looking specifically at the practice of sound design for screen, a module that's a composition module in sonic arts, looking at the composition of music in the studio, and a module focusing on interactive sensing systems. These are the technologies and tools that enable subsequent design of interfaces for musical or audio purposes. And then at stage 3, we have 4 compulsory modules. A module focusing on audio post-production, the practice of working with sound once the film has been shot, balancing dialogue recording, recording replacement dialogue, balancing effects and music and atmosphere and so on. We have a second composition module in Sonic Arts 2. And then we have a written module in film and music, which is offered within our film studies programme. So this focuses on the use of film, the use of music in film, and an analysis of the particular techniques and strategies that film composers use when writing for film. The 4th compulsory module at level 3 is a module called Professional Practice, and all students on our BA programmes take this module. Professional practice is basically an opportunity for students to produce a portfolio of work that mirrors the professional workflows involved in their area of specialism. So for music and sound design students, this could involve students creating a portfolio of sound design work, often in collaboration with other students. So this could involve collaborations with students studying film, students studying broadcast, students studying drama. And as well as a sound design portfolio, this could be a portfolio that focuses on musical composition, again for the same sorts of purposes. So the best illustration of the kinds of activities involved in each of the modules and in the programme in general is the work that our students have produced over the years. And to give you an example of some of the work, I'd like to play you 2 short video extracts. The first of these is a great example of the process of sound design. So everything you hear has been recorded, processed, balanced, manipulated by one of our former students to accompany a piece of commercial animation from a film called Nine. A lot of the recordings are manipulations of metallic objects that were recorded by the students and are particularly suited to the visual world that's presented in this animation. So to give you an example of some recent student sound design work, I'd like to play you this short video example. Okay, in a similar vein, I'd like to play a second example, which focuses very much more on the composition of music to accompany a particular scene. So again, this is a commercial piece of footage. Many of you will recognize the footage from one of Christopher Nolan's films, Interstellar. And this is an extract at a particularly poignant moment in the film. And the music has, again, been composed by one of our recent graduates.
Play it from the beginning.
Hey, Dad. Checking in, saying hi. Finished second in school. It's currently still giving me C's, so pulled me down, but yeah, second's not bad. Grandpa attended the ceremony. Oh, I met another girl, Dad. I really think this is the one. Her name's Lois. It's her right there. Murphy stole Grandpa's car. She crashed it. She's okay though. Hey, Dad. Look at this. Your grandpa. His name's Jesse. I kind of wanted to call him Coop, but Lois says, maybe next time. But Donald says he's already earned the great part, so we'll just leave it at that.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, say bye-bye, Grandpa. Bye-bye, Grandpa. It's okay.
Sorry, it's been a while. Just... What with Jesse and all? Grandpa died last week. We buried him out in the back 40 next to Mom and Jesse, which is where we would have buried you if you'd ever come back. Marv was there at the funeral, and we don't see her that much, but she came for that. You aren't listening to this, I know that. All these messages are just drifting out there in the darkness. Lois says that I have to let you go, and so I guess I'm letting you go. I don't know, wherever you are, Dad. I hope that you're at peace. Bye.
So graduates from our music programs have been very successful in finding employment across a wide range of sectors that relate to both areas of composition and sound design. This includes areas of writing music for film and television, arranging music, working in post-production, working on set as location sound recordists, working in the studios as sound designers, working as audio operators within broadcast contexts, and sound engineers within studio contexts. And then finally also working as media trainers in specialist media facilities, or as Foley artists, actually performing a lot of the sound effects in real time for film productions. Some specific examples of students include Donald Phillips, who's working as a business development manager at QUB for the creative industries. Claire Marcus, working as an audio engineer for Kaboom, local to us here in Belfast. Andrew McAllister, who's working as a film composer. And then we've got Mark Ferguson, who's working as a wildlife sound recordist. Caelan Hegarty, production coordinator at BBC Northern Ireland. And Phil Agnew, who's working as a broadcast operations manager at Pi Communications. So finally, just onto our entry requirements. There are no subject-specific requirements for the BA Music and Sound Design. But we do require the equivalent of ABB at A level, or the equivalent in the Irish Leaving Cert. Indeed, we also accept students who've completed BTECs at levels 3, 4 and 5. The specific requirements there are a particular proportion of distinctions and merits depending on the level of BTEC that students are applying with. So I hope that's given you some sense of our music and sound design program at Queen's. If you've any further questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Our Ask AHSS email address there will be very happy to receive your queries and to forward those on to the relevant academic staff in music. We also have a Facebook site for music with over 2,000 followers. Please do join us on that site. It's regularly used for posting event information and for posting information about our student activities, what our students are up to. So please do join us on Facebook. And just to reiterate, please don't hesitate to get in touch if you've anything further that you would like to ask about any of our programs.